Welcome to the Empowered Mind podcast with Joelle and Natalie Rivera. We are on a never-ending quest to master the power of our mind, develop a growth mindset, and explore the leading edge of positive psychology and human potential so we can take radical personal responsibility for creating our destinies and reaching our potential.
So let me ask you, are you picking up the clues? And what I mean with that is that success leaves clues, right? And this is something that I heard a long time ago, probably like 15 years ago. I was listening to an audiobook. I was an investigator for the state of Florida at the time. And I was driving to a case and I used to get these cassettes and listen to them all the time. And I heard that statement, success leaves clues. And it kind of stuck to me. And at that point, I started my journey into really personal development and getting my books on everything that I could to really grow and develop. And one of the things I really focused on was also entrepreneurship for the most part too, not personal development, because I didn't like my life, right? I didn't like struggling financially. I didn't like living paycheck to paycheck. You know, I just had a child and I wanted something better for my child. So I started really looking at the clues and started looking at documentaries, biographies of people, and just listening to as much audios and things that I can get my hands on. And some of the things that I found is that there's such a different mind state of those people actually creating their life. And I'll talk about wealth, but it comes down to everything, right? For example, when it comes to like successful entrepreneurs and people who are wealthy, the reality is that, you know, they focus on opportunities, right? While somebody who's not, a lot of times focuses on obstacles. And again, it doesn't have to be talking about wealth or entrepreneurship. It can be on anything aspect of life. It's what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the reality that life can be opportunity? There's opportunities everywhere. And for me, the more I learn, the more I'd walk around and, you know, I would learn about even scrapping metal, for example. And I would say, hey, that's an opportunity. And then I learned so much about business that now, you know, I can sit down with a lot of people that have businesses and I can just really, you know, hyper focus on what they could do to help their business grow and all the different opportunities. And before, you know, 15 years ago, I wasn't able to do that, but I changed my mindset and I opened that window. And once you open that window to realize that there's opportunities in every situation, whether negative or positive. People say, well, the stock market's going to go bad. The economy's going to go bad or whatever it may be. But there's opportunity in every economy, right? There's opportunity in every situation. So are you looking at opportunities or do you look at life as obstacles? And as I go through these, I want you to really reflect on those things. The other aspect that's different is that they look at the potential for growth versus potential for loss. So when they do something, when they go for a goal, they look at the opportunities that are there for growth. Well, somebody says, well, what if I do that and I fail? What if I lose everything? What if I tell this person how I really feel and then the relationship doesn't work out, right? So it's like you're always thinking about that loss factor instead of looking at, okay, what can we do and what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow? And you embrace uncertainty because in that uncertainty, you realize, hey, there's an opportunity for growth in this uncertainty. Well, again, most people who are not successful really look at the situation and look at that uncertainty in their life, the unknown. And they see maybe loss. What happens if I change and then people around me don't change? How are we going to connect then? If I'm not really sitting down complaining like they are, right? And this happens to a lot of people as they evolve and as they change. Another aspect is reward and risk. So a lot of people that are successful look at a situation and say, look at all these rewards that I can get, right? Well, the other person starts analyzing all these risks. So that can be what if statements, right? That what if might be like, okay, looking at the reward. What if I do this and, you know, I 10x my business? And then the other person might look at it. What if I do this and I fail and I risk everything? So again, are you looking at the glass half empty or half full? And I know it's a statement that you've probably heard before, but where are you at? Are you in the middle? Because if you're in the middle, you know, you want to kind of inch that up slowly. You want to change that mind state. Because really, at the end of the day, if you're glass half empty or glass half full, it's going to make a big impact on the decisions and choices that you make in your life. The level of risk that you're willing to take. whether you actually create the life that you want. For example, and it's not that people who are successful say, well, if I do this, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to achieve my goal. And I heard Elon Musk at one point said that, he approaches every situation, understanding that there's probably most likelihood of failing in that business. But he does it anyways, because he sees the big rewards. He sees the potential for growth. So I'm not saying that you have to have that mindset that you just say, well, it's always going to work out perfect, because it's not. That's not the reality of the situation. The difference in thinking, the difference in mindset is knowing that if it fails, you'll figure it out. Whether you figure that out, that situation, or use what you just learned to another situation in your life, you'll figure something out, you'll learn something new, and that's going to help you be more successful and be better than you are now as a person. So again, instead of focusing on what can go wrong, focus on what can go right. So it's not, positive thinking, or it's just the reality that you either have to be optimistic or pessimistic. You either have to look at life, again, as an opportunity, or look at it as a challenge or something that's going to go wrong. And again, I'm not saying that you're not going to face challenges. I'm not saying that there's not going to be risk. And when you start going for your dreams and going for your goals, but the reality is that you'll figure it out. If you're just willing to take the next step, the information will come to you. If you're willing to, get that course, or, listen to the audiobook, or read that book, or watch the YouTube videos, or whatever it is that you're trying to learn, we live in the information age. You can sit down and read it, watch a video about it if you'd rather do that, or listen to an audiobook on the way to work. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can spend time developing creativity in that space by getting information about it. And what that'll do is it'll give you the confidence. And what it'll do is, if you take steps and you fail, and then you learn from that, and then you kind of say, okay, that didn't work, let me try it differently, and then you're able to create success, then, that'll give you confidence next time. And then you can use that in the future and say, hey, I wasn't really sure about that one, but I did it anyways. And the most freedom you can have is recognizing that you can fall, but that you'll always get up. But at the end of the day, there's a bigger thing to lose, which is your dreams and your goals, than the bigger thing that you can lose by saying, this is an obstacle, by really not actually ever going for it, by losing something else. You better, for me, it's like, I'd rather try and lose in that process than not even, be in the ball game, right? So at the end of the day, choose to play the game of life. You've been giving this gift of life, and it goes by really fast. So don't let anything or anyone stop you. Look at those clues that success leaves, and then start incorporating them in your life. Surround yourself with people that are even going to give you more clues. And that's what I've done. And I've taken their nuggets, and anyone can give you nuggets anytime. It just depends if you're listening, if you're willing to be present in the moment and see what anyone can share, because anyone can share insights that can transform your life. So again, look at those clues, incorporate, and before you know it, in a blink of an eye, you'll recognize that your whole life has transformed.
Thank you, fellow Freedom Junkies, for listening. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to help us grow, please rate and share this podcast. You can also become a member of Freedom Nation. Visit freedomourbustpodcast.com and sign up to receive access to exclusive content and take the 21-day happiness challenge. As you know, we believe that entrepreneurship is the ultimate form of empowerment, which is why we created the Side Hustle Business Startup course for anyone looking to create their own income and take back their power. We offer an exclusive discount for our podcast listeners. Find out more at freedomourbustpodcast.com.